Hello, this is Rachel, and this is Designed Resilience, the corner of the internet where we talk about building daily habits and practices that give you the foundation for resilience that you're going to need when life lobs you a softball that you can crush out of the park or throws a fastball that you whiff, swing, and miss. Today, I want to talk about something that I have recently seen more profoundly under the pillar of self-concept. So, one of the five pillars of design resilience is that you need to develop daily a positive self-concept. That's the belief that you can successfully navigate any situation that's put in front of you. And for me personally, lately, I have gotten a little weary of the lessons that life is trying to teach me. It feels like there might be a little more struggle than necessary in some of the things in my life. Now, I have plenty to be grateful for. I have so much that's going well, but some very specific things are not unfolding quite as quickly or quite in the way that I'd like them to. And so I can get frustrated with myself. I can feel like I'm not, um, I don't have the resilience that I need. And so I wanted to share with you some things today under the heading of everybody's messed up. And here are three truths that you can cling to. So, how do I know that everybody's messed up? First, my own personal experience, because I have gone through things in life that have shown me that I am capable, that I'm intelligent, that I am personable and can make friends and can have community and all that kind of stuff. And I forget it. So I personally have this experience of going through life, learning something, experiencing something, knowing it to be true for myself, and then getting in a very similar situation not too long later and completely forgetting it. Or I have allowed experiences in my past to dictate my present and future that I feel like I'm pulling all of that forward. This can be, for me personally, it's anxieties, it is fears, it is a belief that things won't work out that I carried back. And so that's what I mean when I say messed up. Like everybody has some tape that's going on in their mind. By the way, if you haven't heard of something, experiencing something, knowing it to be true for myself, and then getting in a very similar situation not too long later and completely forgetting it. Or I have allowed experiences in my past to dictate my present and future that I feel like I'm pulling all of that forward. This can be, for me personally, it's anxieties, it is fears, it is a belief that things won't work out that I carried back. And so that's what I mean when I say messed up. Like everybody has some tape that's going on in their mind. By the way, if you haven't heard of um, John Acuff's soundtracks, that's an excellent book when you're thinking about what's playing in your head over and over again and wanting to change it. But I am messed up by those things in my life where I choose to believe the more negative story than the actual positive outcome that I experienced, because I'm still alive. I'm still here. So nothing that I have faced has killed me. So I allow certain situations to stay in my brain rent free and cause problems. And that's what I mean by messed up. And so I want to tell you that I'm not the only one, and you're not the only one. Some very powerful and successful people are also in this kind of cycle of achievement or experience and then forgetting it, or it not really like sinking in and becoming a part of them. I was recently watching a podcast with Elena Cordone. So Grant Cardone, you may or may not know of, but they have a huge real estate portfolio, and they also have this sort of like 10x company. It's like sales training and books and things like that. And I was watching Elena and I was thinking to myself, this is a powerful businesswoman. She has grown a company with her husband. They're worth, according to Google, $300 million as a couple. They have all of the things, they have private jets and huge vacations and rich friends. And they, from my position in life, they have nothing to worry about. They have nothing to worry about. There's no bill that they can't pay. There's no house that they can't have. There's no food that they can't eat. Everything is taken care of. And as I was watching her on this podcast, she talked about how literally every time she goes into a meeting with new people, she is looking at a new business venture or a new deal, the gremlins in her brain attack her and whisper things from previous experiences like you're not smart enough or you don't deserve to be here or this or that thing, and that she actually has to fight that on a regular basis. And I was blown away. I was thinking to myself, you are, first of all, like you're a woman who travels with a crew. You probably don't have to make any decisions in your life but about your business because, you're you probably have a housekeeper. You probably have someone who takes care of your hair and your appearance and your clothes and your food and all the things. And yet she still battles, it sounded like from her interview, daily with feelings of inadequacy. And I was like, okay, well, then everybody's messed up because you could be worth $300 million in a happy marriage with a very successful series of businesses and still think that you are going to mess it up. Another story that kind of goes in this line is about JJ Redick. He is a basketball player who is currently the coach of the LA Lakers. But I watched a documentary about him. And so he was a record setter at Duke, which is a huge basketball college, if you don't know. They're always a big player in the March Madness tournament. And so he was huge there. And he also played for the Clippers professionally. He was a commentator for a hot minute, and now he's a coach. But the documentary really highlighted how his physical excellence, his basketball skills could be completely pulled out of commission by his personal mental soundtrack. And the documentary followed him stepping back from there was no question that his body was built for basketball. There was no question that he knew how to play the game, that he had the physicality to do it, that he had, the smarts to do it. But he would get in his head and completely defeat himself. And the only difference from day to day was his mindset about his abilities and about the game. And I was flabbergasted. I could not believe that this person who was just naturally had all of the skills necessary to be a wild success and was wildly successful, setting records and having an amazing collegiate career, could get in his own way so badly and could stop himself. He was literally the only thing stopping himself was his mindset during the times that he had to step back from the game. And so all of that to say, I am messed up. You are messed up. Really rich people are messed up. Really amazing athletes are messed up. Everybody has in their ability to think the ability to sabotage themselves. And it could even be like less visible, right? This could be someone who is afraid of being hurt in a relationship. And so anytime they get close to somebody, they pull away. That's the same thing. It's the same level of mess. Or it could be somebody who is so afraid of failure that they never try anything new. Same kind of messed up. So everybody, all the world's children are messed up. But there are 3 truths that you can cling to help you with your positive self-concept. And number 1 is you are meant to be here. And that is not some woo-woo, warm, fuzzy feeling. That is the truth. Because there is no way, regardless of your belief system, whether you believe in a divine higher power, whether you believe in the Big Bang, whether you believe there's nothing out there and we're just, meat sacks or whatever. the combination of humans that had to come together, that had to survive, that had to procreate, to create your lineage, indicates that you were meant to be here. So when we combine the truth that we know that everybody's messed up and you are meant to be here, because if you weren't meant to be here, all of the circumstantial things for the thousands of years before you existed would not have landed in you being created unless you were meant to be here. So you can rest assured that regardless of whatever crazy immediate story you have around your creation, there are generations of people who hoped that by their decisions, you would come. They didn't know you, but they hoped you would come because that's why they made the choices that they made. The second truth that you can cling to when we're trying to have a positive self-concept and we know that we're all messed up is that you are not alone. And I mean that on several levels. One, you're not alone because there's 8.2 billion people on the face of this planet. Literally not alone. Second, you're not alone because you're just like everybody else, clinging to some story that messes you up, that causes you to self-sabotage sometimes. And that's okay. But when you get those swings in your mindset, when you get those swings in your feelings about life and yourself, know that there are a good portion of the population who are in that exact same feeling as you are. So you're not alone there either. And the third thing that you can use to hold on to believe that you're not alone is the voice in your head. That may be you, but it's still a conversation. And so you had the ability to work on that relationship. If that voice in your head is always being mean to you, then you can work on telling it to be nicer. And that's a relationship. So you're not alone. You're not alone even in your own head. Never mind that you're not alone in the way that you feel, whether you feel happy. And when you feel happy, there's, smile in the world smiles with you. So no matter what you're feeling, there are other people out there feeling the same way. And the bottom line is that there's 8.2 million of us on the face of this planet. So you're not alone. And the third truth that you can cling to, and I believe in this firmly, it's something that helps me through my hardest times, is that you can figure it out. There's no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as having all the information ever. There is strength in the ability to listen and to reflect and to put things together in a way that you can figure any situation out. My husband and I actually really enjoy doing puzzles, and I think about that a lot like I think about this, the ability to figure it out. So when I talk about not having all the information, like when you get a puzzle, you get the picture and you know what at the end is supposed to look like, but you have 500 or 1,000 pieces and you can't see and process them all at the same time. Or your brain may be able to, but you're not consciously doing that. So that's an example of, where you're supposed to go, what you want to have, but you have all this information in front of you and you can't discern it all at the same time. And bit by bit, you find the edge pieces, you find the corner pieces, or at least that's the way we do it. You put the pieces that are the similar colors or patterns together so that you can kind of work on those, pieces as you come to them. But that's how life is. It's a big puzzle. And, at one end, you could say that the end picture is, death or transition. Like, that's where you're going to go. Or there could be interim pictures along the way. Like, I want to get an education, or I want to get married, or I want to travel, or I want to start a business, or I want to have children, or I want to have pets, or I want to have a garden, or all these puzzle pictures that you're going to be aiming for. And a lot of times when you get that picture in your mind, you don't know what all the pieces are or how they're going to fit together. But it's okay when it's a puzzle because you're just figuring it out. So I encourage you to think of life that way. It's okay when you come up to a situation and you don't know how it's going to work out, because you just start looking for the edge pieces. You start looking for the corners and putting things that seem to go together. And it all works out in the end. So, in summary, everyone is messed up in some way. Everyone has some story